Hey, welcome back to the Shut Up, Get Up podcast, episode number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully some of you still plan on coming along for the ride on this one. Today, I want to talk about life coaching. I just want to talk about it because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what a life coach is. Most of the people who don't understand what a life coaching is like to do, like as my British wife would say, they like to take the mickey out of it, make fun of it. It's often associated or depicted in film or television as, some unemployed loser who has failed at life, but is giving advice and sharing all these inspirational quotes. And that's what we're going to talk. I just want to share a little bit like that with you and how a lot of you might be able to, use a coach somewhere down the line and see the sort of the impactful change of hiring a coach could have on your life. All right. So that's where we're going. That's where we're going today. Okay, well, realistically, the truth is a lot of those people actually do exist. I mean, it is funny. How many times you've been around some of these people who literally want to give you all this advice about life, and they really are sharing all these inspirational quotes and telling you how to live, and you're like, man, your life is a disaster. Everything about it is a disaster. But I guess one of the challenges with the life coach profession is that anyone who wants to be a life coach can just hang a shingle and call themselves a life coach. But that really shouldn't discount the profession. There's a lot of people out there who are very skilled at it, who've certified at it. Some who haven't certified at it, so I'm not an advocate for or against. I know some people who never did, but they've really learned the skill sets that are involved to make themselves a very, very impactful coach because there is a skill behind it. Personally, a lot of personal skills, a lot of skills I adapted over years, but then I've gone on to certify with a premier program. So and I found it very useful to me. But again, I'm not an advocate for or against. There's a lot of argument on both sides about that. But for me, it worked for me. The training I got really worked for me. So I'm happy about the way I want to go. But the thing about coaching is, to some people I know it's still a little strange. It's a weird profession. But coaching tomorrow will be accepted just as much as therapy is today. As if you think about therapy, a generation ago, if somebody was in therapy, they didn't really talk about it. Nobody talked about it, right? Nobody would ever want to mention like, oh, that person's in therapy. But nowadays, you can go ahead and meet up with your friends. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing, just came from my therapist. Oh, great. You want to go get coffee? Go get some lunch, and that's it. And you move on from it because it's just accepted. And that's kind of where coaching is. Coaching is, if you get the right coach, and they got the experience and the insight and of course, if they got the training, they can really impact people's lives. And that's one of the things that I really love about coaching. And, one of the most ironic things about coaching is that it's really not even about giving advice. I think a lot of times people think if somebody has a life coach, that guy's sitting around going, all right, dude, get up. Put on your pants. All right, now eat breakfast. Right shoe first, left shoe second. It's not about that. It's not like having a coach coaching your life, telling you what to do. And I think a lot of it is when people hear coaches, they think about sports coaches, right? I was an athlete. I played college football. I was around coaches my whole life. I've coached in my adult life. And yeah, that's a little bit different. As a coach, you're actually molding people. You're teaching them things. For me, I worked with offensive players. So yes, I was teaching wide receivers, quarterbacks, how to read coverages, how to see certain things in defenses, how to run routes. So in that respect, you're coaching somebody. You're kind of telling them kind of how to be successful on a field. But as a life coach, that's not what you're doing at all. As a life coaching, you're more of a thinking partner. You're just helping people sort of kind of drag out of them what a lot of times they already know. All right. Or you're there for them because they need somebody who's going to, help them be accountable. Somebody's going to believe in them sometimes. So, it's a different type of coaching. So you're not coaching by telling and diagramming and showing. You're coaching in terms of, helping them sort of draw out what they need. So you're not telling them what to do. You're not advice giving. So that's kind of the difference between being like a coach from the normal sense of the word that we're used to and exactly what a life coach is, all right? Life coach, again, is working with you to help bring it out. They're not telling you what to do, because the truth of the matter is, even if I had the experience of what you're going through, I've been through what you've done before. How many times we say it? I've been through what you've been through before. It doesn't make a difference, because the way I got through it and the way that person's going to get through it are going to be two different ways. Why? Because of our general makeup. Everything in my life up to where I am now, everything from my environment growing up to, my family, my friends, my experiences, things I was, that were in my life, anything I went through, every little thing that's been through my life has affected me in a certain way that has created a general makeup. And for some people, it's good. And some people, it's probably bad. It's why a lot of people have limiting belief systems, because they've been put together by all these different things their whole lives. And we'll talk about that probably later on in greater detail in other episodes. But that's why, as a coach, I can't say, well, man, I've been through that, so just do this and you get over it, because the way I deal with things and the way that person deals with it's completely different. So as a coach, I'm not here to tell you how to deal with it. I'm here to help you sort of draw it out, because deep down inside, you already know what you need to do. And a lot of times, people think coaching is therapy, but coaching really isn't therapy. Therapy is more of a need service, right? People going to therapy tend to need it. Whereas somebody getting coaching is more of a want service, right? I mean, coaching takes somebody who's functioning pretty normal every day. For the most part, their lives are good. Their current reality looks fine. They just want to improve, their lives a little bit. They feel like they're trapped in a box, not sure what they want to do with a job, maybe a relationship, a goal, or something like that. And that's when they hire a coach, right? Because they want to move themselves forward. They want to get into action. Whereas therapy tends to just focus on the past. It looks to delve into past actions, patterns, behavior. It's very analytical. It's not very action-oriented. And again, with coaching, people who want coaches, they're just looking, again, maybe you can look at it this way with a sport coach. They've hired somebody to sort of make them better, move them forward. But again, that coach isn't going to tell them what to do. It's just going to help them sort of bring out the best in them to help them move forward. One of the other really, gigantic benefits of a coach is that coaches, they don't bring preconceived notions about you. You're a blank slate. You can be anybody at that point, but hopefully it's you wanting to be the best you. And I want you to think about that for a little bit, because a lot of times you say, well, listen, accountability partner, somebody I can talk to. I've got friends, I've got family, and you probably do. And that's great. But let's talk about this a little bit. You probably have friends and family that if you called them at 2:30 in the morning, you're 50 miles away from home. You're like, hey, I need a ride. I don't even know how I got here, but I need a ride. And they'd probably get dressed, drive out, pick you up, buy you breakfast on the way home, put you to bed when you got there. I mean, they'd love you. They absolutely care for you. But then there's this job you want, or this opportunity that you're looking for, or you're trying to get them to introduce you to somebody, open up a door for you. And you ask them about it, like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. And maybe you follow up again later on. You're like, hey, can you do, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't move forward. And you find out why, like what's going on? The reason for that is that your family, your friends, people you're close to have preconceived notions about you. You've got a full makeup to them. They know, or at least they think they know your strengths. They know your weaknesses. And maybe, you want a job at their company. And, again, they love you. They want to go out with you. But maybe they look at you as, no, this guy's, he's fun, but he's a fool. And maybe you present yourself like that to the world. And maybe they don't realize deep down inside, giving you the right opportunity, you'll flourish. But they're not going to do that because their makeup of you is that, I'm not going to risk my thing on this. Or you want to, you're trying to get a door somewhere else and they go, I don't think that person's talented enough to do that, so I'm not going to do that. So they're making all these decisions for you. Again, because there's all these preconceived notions about who you are to them. A coach, you're a blank slate. You sit down with a coach, what would you like to work on today? I want to be an astronaut. Sounds great. Well, let's talk about you and where this is all coming from, and let's figure out if this is the path we're going on. And if you're there, we're gonna figure out that goal, and we're gonna figure out that way forward to move you there. But coach isn't gonna judge. I can say, nah, man, you're not gonna be an astronaut. Let's just end this conversation right now. Coaches don't bring preconceived notions. They're gonna bring some accountability. They're gonna be a thinking partner. They're gonna figure out with you the best way for you to move forward. And that's why you hire a coach. So the next thing is, well, why do I pay somebody for this? Again, I can probably just get this for free. Probably not if you're going to get good coaching. But the reason you pay coaches is the reason you pay for anything. Because we don't find value in things that we don't pay for. How many times somebody tried to offer you something on the street, said, hey, take this, like, I don't want it. But if they said, and if you knew what they were giving you, was something amazing, this incredible thing, and they said, look, for $25 you can have it, in your mind's like, that thing is worth more than $25. You're going to buy it, and you're going to spend money. And then to you, it's going to be value because you see some sort of financial value behind it, right? It's like hiring a personal trainer. If your friend said, hey man, show up my gym every week and I'll just train you. You might show up the first week, you might show up the second week, but the third week, new show just dropped on Netflix. Friends are going to the pub. Ooh, new bag of Doritos. And you might just find, you have no value in that coaching because you're not paying for it. You're paying $100 an hour and you've prepaid. You're going to find the motivation to get better, to get there, to pause the Netflix, to not eat the Doritos, to tell your friends you're going to be running a little bit late. And it's going to make you better for it because now you're being accountable because it has a value behind it. And another just, crazy thing, and this comes from one of my favorite speakers. If you never listened to him, Earl Nightingale, actually listen on YouTube. He does this great talk called The Stranger's Secret. And anybody who's kind of in this, self-help space or wanting to get better or motivational talks, you've probably heard it, but it's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't heard it, it's great. It's only 12 minutes and you should listen. But Earl talks about this amazing thing about human beings, that the most incredible things that we get for free, we don't value. The human mind, our ability to think, set goals, dream, put in motion, change our lives with, we put little value in. Our souls, our bodies, our hopes, our dreams, ambitions, intelligence, love, family, friends are some of the things that we tend to value the most. We'll put so much value on, we live in such a culture right now where celebrity is driving, millions of TikTok users and YouTubers and this and that. And it's all about, I just got to get all these likes. I need these people, these strangers out in the world to love me. But yeah, you've got family and friends that love you and it's completely discounted and it comes without a cost. So the thing is, as human beings, if we're not paying for something, a lot of times we don't see value in it. So psychologically, the minute you pay for something, you see value in it. But a lot of times you just realize, well, I'm paying for this now, so I better put in the work. As far as coaches, there's a coach for everyone. I mean, depending on what you can do, you could be a stay-at-home mom, there's a coach for that. Yeah, executive coach, business coaches. For me, I'm more an accountability coach, a limiting beliefs coach. As you get to know me more, you'll realize that, I'm big on helping people uncover their limiting beliefs. Again, we'll talk more about this in later podcasts, but that's sort of my thing. That's kind of my space. But, maybe my podcast will inspire you to at least seek out a coach. If it isn't me, it'll be somebody else who's in your space. A lot of coaches niche in certain areas, and you'd be surprised what you might be looking for and who is actually coaching in that space right now. So that's just a little bit, again, about life coaching. I just hope sort of this put away some of those terrible stereotypes we have in regards to what a life coach is. It's just not your buddy, man, who's just cutting and paste from Pinterest, something he saw today. Basically tells you that, the only person you're destined to be is the one you decide to be. And then at the bottom, you see it is, good old Ralph Waldo Emerson. But so again, listen, I just want to thank you once again for just giving me this time. And I look forward to, hearing your thoughts and your comments. And you can always reach me on my email, Mike Muldoon. That's MikeMuldoon at Mike Muldoon LC for lifecoach.com. You can always reach out to me there. And I look forward to, having you come along this journey. All right. Thanks again. And let's roll. Get up.